Hey guys, how you going? So I wanted to do a new series where I basically review the banners that are coming out as they come out, talk about the new medals that are available within them, whether I think it's worth skipping them entirely or actually going for a couple pulls within them. And yeah, I was going to start off with this new falling price deal. I think I'm going to call the series, I don't know, Breaking Banner or something like that, because I'm breaking down the banner. Or like Beauty or Bait, something stupid like that. I don't know, you'll see it by the time I've already uploaded it for you guys, so you'll see what it is in the title or the thumbnail. Again, so I'm going to start off with this falling price deal. It's going to be a series based from a free-to-play perspective, but hopefully with lessons, or at least some tips applicable to, all players. Just because people spend money doesn't mean they have infinite resources suddenly or infinite luck. And basically what I mean by the free-to-play perspective is that when we typically do our pulls, we can't do that many, so we kind of have to work with what we get. The good thing about that is that you don't really go chasing gilted medals. You don't spend a lot of resources to try and desperately gilt something because you know it's not likely to happen, so you don't even risk it in the first place. In terms of my gilted premium medals, all I've got is a HT Nominate, which I use Mickey and Brooms to gilt, and the other copycat medal, the blue BBS Beginnings medal, I believe, which I basically did 7 pulls from that banner, and was only able to gilt one of the medals. So, yeah, we don't really have that many gilted medals, so we try and make the most of what we have. A lot of the medals I put value in are ones that have utilities that will help my strong medals get stronger, if that makes sense. So, from that perspective, let's try and review the new banner. Here we go. Okay, so the first of the 2 new medals in the falling price deal is this Lord of the Dead medal here. It's got a really, really cool artwork featuring like Enraged Hades with Cerberus. Obviously, you guys know that. It's an all enemy attack, like AoE medal, that lowers all enemies' power-based defense by 4 tiers, which is pretty significant. It's a pretty decent debuff. It has a 2.51 to 3.90 natural multiplier, which obviously goes up the more dots it has, and that multiplier caps out when the medal is in slot 4, slot 4 I believe. So I've listed the 3 Keyblades on the side there that carry that reverse power slot 4 multiplier. So you've got Fenrir, Darkgnaw, and spoilers, I guess, if you don't know the new Keyblades. But that is the Fairy Stars, I believe, which we'll be getting from our story pretty soon. So yeah, really, really cool medal. There's a really potentially quite powerful. That debuff is really, really nice because we don't have heaps of medals that lower attribute defense, and especially not like AoE, and especially not 4 tiers. It's really, really, really powerful. Speaking of which, the other medal released, and which is why I've got the Vanitas music in the background, is this Vanitas medal here. Again, you guys probably know this already. Basically the same effect, except it lowers the speed-based defense by 4 tiers instead of the power-based defense. Really nice artwork. I quite like the character. That was one of the best fights. One of the most fun parts of Birth by Sleep for sure, was fighting this son of a bitch right here. Again, technically spoilers, I guess, if you don't want to know the new Keyblades, but his multiplier caps out on the 5th slot. So if you put him on the Divine Rose, or the Lady Luck, or the Midnight Ache or something, I don't know what it's called, but it's the reverse speed Keyblade that we should be seeing in our game approximately 2 months from now. So if you're watching this in the future, August, September, October, I guess, for a Proud Mode October update, we should be seeing this Keyblade. Anyway, yeah, again, both really quite powerful medals, and I'd be really, really happy to pull any one of these in the falling price deal should I go for it. What else we got? Okay, so when I first saw the banner advertised, it said, you will get a tier 5 medal from this pull. So if you do a pull, no matter what, you'll be guaranteed to get a tier 5. And I was like, that's awesome. Like, for me personally, I've got this HD Roxas that I really want to gilt, and I've got this Dark Riku that I really want to gilt, and I'm thinking, this is the perfect time for me to pull, because what I really want to do as a free-to-play player is make the most of my jewels to get as powerful as I can. And if I could grab a gilted HD Roxas, or especially a gilted Dark Riku, I'd be feeling pretty friggin' powerful. So I was like, this is probably the best odds I'm ever going to get to try and gilt these things. I may as well go for it. Then I read the fine print and realized that only 19 tier 5 medals were listed up there, And you can see them all up here. So I put them all up here for you to have a look at. You can see there's some pretty notable exclusions. What they've done basically is they've gone from Illustrated KH2 Kairi and taken every single tier 5 available from that point, excluding like the EX medals, excluding obviously the VIP, the High Score Challenge, you know, anything that can't be standard pulled. Oh, the World of Final Fantasy medals. Any of that crap they've taken out. All the way up to the brand new tier 5s that have just been released. So everything except, for some reason, Wisdom Form Sora isn't included in that list. I don't know why, but again, for whatever reason, they haven't included Wisdom Form Sora in this list right here. So it is the 19 latest premiums except Wisdom Form Sora, for whatever reason. But yeah, these are the tier 5s that you can't get. And if I've missed any, let me know, but I think I got them all. Again, excluding like the World of Final Fantasy ones, the EXs, so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure these are the tier 5s that you can't get. So again, HD Roxas and Dark Riku right there, just taunting me, just really taunting me, going, you were close, you were real close, but we didn't let you in the pile. What that means basically is you have a 1 in 19 chance of getting the thing that you really want. I suppose a 1 in 17 chance of getting the thing that you really want, because if you do pull these two guys here, I'm pretty sure they never come on their own. They'll always come with at least one other premium. So yeah, pretty decent odds of getting something that you want. If you do want anything in here. So now you gotta decide, okay, do I want to pull? For me, I made a kind of little list for myself of the things that I really, really wanted in this banner, kind of down to the things that I really could pass on. So obviously I like the new Vanitas medal, the new Hades medal. I would love a double general defense down medal, so Maleficent Dragon and HD Ventus are in the corner there for me as something that I really want. If you guys weren't able to mercy pull 0.2 Kairi and you still haven't got a copy of her yet, such a fantastic medal, such a fan-freaking-tastic medal. Same with HD Naminé. People like rag on me for having a HD Naminé. It's like, oh, he can't be free to play if he has that. I just got very, very lucky, pulled a 3-orb one, and then Mickey and Brooms it all the way up. It has changed my game significantly. I'm able to compete in so much crap now, just because I can copy a general defense down medal, I can copy an EX medal, and all of a sudden, I'm using a 150% gilted Attack Boost 4 Max version of anything. So, if you guys don't have a copy of her, you really, really want to get one. And then, the rest of the medals, I put some in the meh pile, which basically means that I can kind of take them or leave them. Illustrated KH2 Kairi, if you guys don't have a copy of her, is fantastic. For me, it's not going to help me out much, given that I already have one with 4 orbs, I believe. Even if I'm able to guilt one, it's really not going to change my game that much. Again, if you guys don't have one though, she should be much, much higher on your priority list, because a Gauge Restoring Medal is a fantastic thing to have. I wouldn't mind the SP Vanitas, I suppose, just because it looks kind of cool. Illustrated Terra B I'd like to have, just because a nice single target power-based medal would be a pretty cool thing. I've got, they're not shit, I'm just calling him that for a bit of a laugh for myself, but Illustrated KH2 Sora and KHUx 7, I'm not really the biggest fan of, because I like maximizing medals multipliers. Maximizing medals multipliers. What a sentence. And their multipliers are maxed out when you have them at the front of a Keyblade, but of course if you have them at the front, you aren't getting any buffs. So I typically love to have a buff medal right in the front. I actually have a copy of both of those medals, and I never, ever use them, just because, I don't know, they cost 4 to, I'm not sure if Illustrated KH2 Sora costs 4, but it costs a decent amount to only lower the enemy's general defense by 1 tier. You don't really get any damage out of it, and honestly, using Kairi and then copying her again is a much better use of your slots, rather than having one of those medals in there. So again, it's not for me. KHUx 6, again, pretty expensive. I'm pretty sure it costs 4. It's an AoE medal that raises power-based strength by 3 tiers for 1 turn. Guess what? We have Axel B now. He only costs 1 and raises your power-based strength by 3 tiers for 1 turn. And also, if you have a Guilted Axel B, he probably outdamages just a non-Guilted TR6. 0.2 Aqua and Mickey. Again, I'm not really the biggest fan. They only lower magic and power-based strength respectively for 2 tiers for 2 turns. it's, you know, decent, and if you had them guilted, they do some really good damage, but again, I'm kind of coming at this from the point where I will pretty much never guilt any of these medals unless I get very, very lucky, or invest Mickey and Brooms in them. So, for the debuffs they have, they're nice, but again, we're looking at medals right now that have a -4 debuff on them, and these guys only have a -2. Granted, it's for 2 turns, but come on, we can. If you know anything about me, you know I like one-turning stuff. Illustrated Roxas is in there. Yeah, he's not too bad. Same with Terranaut. They raise your speed and magic-based strength respectively for 3 tiers. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. It's just nothing to stand out for me anymore, just because I have like extra attack on some buffers. And yeah, again, if it's not guilted, it's not doing extreme amounts of damage. So, and the rest, I think the rest is only 0.2 Riku. I'm kind of met on him. SP Ansem should actually be lower down than he is. I really don't care for that medal at all. Key Art 8 I kind of like, just because, again, raises your magic-based strength for 2 tiers and lowers the enemy's magic-based defense for 2 tiers. That's a pretty good buff, and if you combine that with a copycat medal, suddenly you're at +4 and they're at -4. You add 0.2 Kari onto that mix. Suddenly you're at +6. So you're at +6 general attack. You're also at +5 magic, and they're at -5 magic defense. God, it's hard to get this out. And you've done all of that in only 3 medal slots. So now I'm kind of thinking, yeah, that's a pretty significant amount of buffs. And I believe that's everything covered. So you could sort of make your own list. If you've already pulled some medals in this lot through your previous pulls, and you're really close to guilting him, that would push them way up on your priority list. Same with me, like HD Roxas, as much as I like, you know, have it as this like channel mascot, so to speak. It kind of sits around the 0.2 Aqua and Mickey level of usefulness now, where it only does a -2 power-based defense, and it only does it for 1 turn. But the fact is, I'm really, really close to guilting mine, so I'd really want a copy of it just to get the damn thing guilted. So again, make your own kind of list and then think, okay, is it worth it for me to pull? So here's my kind of pros and cons list that I came up with. The fact that it's a falling price deal means that it's the most economical way of getting premiums for your amount of jewels that you're spending. So obviously, as the price decreases, if you invest a lot of jewels into this banner, you could potentially get quite a few premiums out. Again, that is kind of a negative in itself though, because to reap the most benefit, you have to spend a lot to do so. So it's like you have to spend a lot of jewels, but you will get benefits from doing that. But then you'll bankrupt yourself, you know. I think I've worked it out, it's like 15,600 jewels to get 7 pulls. So you're effectively getting 7 pulls for 5 and a bit pulls worth of jewels. So you do save a fair bit. You're basically getting 2 additional pulls if you pull 5 times worth of jewels. It's a hard sentence to follow. Sorry if I'm being confusing there. But yeah, okay. Potentially, if you do pick up the Lord of the Dead medal or the new Vanitas medal, you'll get a high score challenge advantage. Again, that's potentially though. You may be unlucky and not pick them up. I have seen some pretty good rates of pulling them though, so again, you could get lucky. Saying that though, I think if the next high score challenge was to come out, it could have Sephiroth EX being one of the high score challenge medals as well. So again, the rate for pulling Sephiroth EX is going to be so low. But if you want to really compete in the high score challenge, it could be worth pulling for that banner instead. A big pro that's going on right now for pulling on this banner, which is only valid for basically the next 12 hours as of me recording this video, is there's a guild campaign happening right now that I believe ends tomorrow. So if you were to pick up anything you could guild, like even tier 2s and tier 3s and whatever, if you're the kind of guy like me that will only guild shit during a guilding campaign, now's a good time to pull, just because you could get some potential guilds out of it. Crank that Nova up a bit more. And considering your usual chances of getting something that you want, like getting a premium that you want, right now you have a 1 in 19 or a 1 in 17 chance, depending on how you look at it, chance of getting the desired medal that you want, which is pretty friggin' low, but considerably higher than usual. I think the last time I counted, this is back when like 0.2 Arcor was coming out. I believe I was up to like 50 or 60 premiums that I could count, just like going down the wiki. So add another what, 12 to 15 onto that list, the chance of just doing a random pull that gives you one guaranteed premium that includes all the tier 4s and all the tier 5s is really, really, really low. So right now, even though the odds are only 1 in 19, you still have a good chance of getting the thing that you want. So like for me, I could say, okay, I really want to get either a Maleficent Dragon, HD Ventus, or the 2 new medals. That's 4 things right there that I'd be pretty happy to get. I wouldn't mind a Naminé just because I could get a trait on it. I wouldn't mind a 0.2 Kari just because I could get a trait on it. Even Illustrated KH2 Kari wouldn't be so bad if I could roll a trait on it. To be perfectly honest, KH2 Sora and KHUx 7 wouldn't be too bad for me either, just because I could, again, get closer to guilting him and do to give me traits. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-ish medals that I'd be pretty happy to get. It's roughly 50% chance of me getting something that I want. And again, I wouldn't be unhappy with Terra B or KHUx 8 or a few more things. So I'm kind of in favour of doing at least one pull here. And for making you guys sit through all this, I'll definitely do a pull just because you poor guys didn't have to sit through this for nothing. But, well, it's a thumbnail. One sec. Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty sure that I want to pull. Some of the cons for this banner though, like I said before, Sephiroth EX is right around the corner, and they are doing everything they can to make us clear out all of our jewels, so that when they drop that big, beautiful bastard, we're going to be like, shit, we have to pull for this, we're going to have to spend money to do it. Again, the way I look at an EX banner is that the odds of it getting it are so friggin' low, I may as well not even try. It's almost like throwing away jewels, because it's never going to happen for me. Oh god, again, that's a really bad way to think about it, because some people will just do a YOLO pull and they're going to get him, but I figure it's not worth it for me to even try. Don't let that stop you though, because you could be the one that pulls and gets Sephiroth EX when he comes around. Anyway, it's kind of a clearance sale of tier 5 medals right now. What I mean by that is that they're basically throwing everything out. Everything's got to go before the new tier 6s come in. You know, the new hotness is going to roll in and, you know, have all this potential additional power coming with it. Up to 180% max guilt, I believe. That's all well and good, but a guilted medal is only as good as... Well, a tier 6 medal is only good if you can guilt it. No, that's not what I mean. The multiplier it could potentially reach is only good if you can guilt it. Apart from that, the multipliers aren't that much... The natural multipliers aren't that much different from a, you know, tier 4 or tier 5 medal. So the fact that they're tier 6 is wonderful for those that can guilt it, but for the rest of us, if we're never going to guilt it anyway, there's no real difference between a tier 6, a tier 5, a tier 4, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, for me, I'm really going to try and guilt the tier 5s that I'm close to guilting, because then I could get some real power out of them. I'd see a much bigger power increase in myself if I could guilt my tier 5s than if I was to have a few tier 4s and tier 5s and tier 6s that aren't guilted. Anyway, and again, like I mentioned before, you have to invest quite a lot to make it worth your while, so you have to spend a lot and therefore make yourself closer to bankruptcy to actually see the most benefit from the banner. Like I said before, even if you do 7 pulls and only spend the equivalent of, you know, 15,000 and a bit jewels on them, there's still a lot of spending to do to only really get 2 free pulls out of it. You know, which is obviously nice, but... And like I said before, the rate of getting some kind of crappy medals is pretty high, so, you know, your mileage may vary. I think that's everything I wanted to say, so how about we do a pull, okay? Thanks for watching, guys. Okay, guys, so yeah, like I said, thanks for watching. If you think this is worth me doing again, let me know. I'm going to collect all these presents now and these Mickey and Brooms, so I can actually do one of these pulls and not feel bad about dipping below 10,000. Bang, 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 there we go. Woo! Nearly got 18k, beautiful. Man, I was like bankrupt after 0.2 Kyrie. That's pretty friggin' sick. I've got some Union Cross jewels to collect as well. Okay, yeah, like I said, if you like this kind of content, let me know and I can make some more. It took a bit of effort, but I'm happy to do it if you guys are enjoying it. Anything else? Yeah, my initial plan was to wait for tomorrow's, Sorry, my initial plan was to wait for tomorrow's tweet and then make a decision to pull based on whatever we're going to find out about tomorrow, but you know what? You guys deserve to see a pull after listening to me ramble for all that time. Reverse is nice, that's exactly what I want. Fingers crossed. Only one, that's a shame. And we get Dragon Maleficent. Beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted. 3 orbed as well. Beautiful. Okay, so Damien's a happy boy. He's going to hit the Colosseum pretty hard. And yeah, thank you guys very, very much for watching. Hopefully this is informative. Let me know what you think. Did I miss anything? Is there anything that I should have included in my banner review that I didn't? Yeah, let me know. Let me know. And yeah, all the best, guys. See you next. See you soon. Bye. I'm very tired. It's like 4 AM. Bye.